Alright, what's up everybody? It's Justin, the artist for WorldBreakers, with another Work Time with Justin. This episode lines up with episode 28 of WorldBreakers. Um, wow, episode 28, gosh. Every time I say what episode these are for, I'm gonna freak out because I just can't believe how far along this has come. So, bear with me there. Let's see. Start out today with some shout outs. Thank you very very much to Alanis, for your suggestions. Because I don't know what to talk about, but you really hooked me up there. Thank you. And balancing um, work and school and comics is never easy. I could hardly balance just this comic. So, believe me, I understand. Uh, but if drawing is like what's important to you, I know you'll make it happen. So no worries. Just kind of take it easy and roll with the punches, I always say. Anyhow, thank you also to Adam for your suggestion. I'm working on figuring out a way to do a time lapse. In fact, I did a kind of test earlier, and it didn't go super well, um, but it went, and that's what's important. So I will continue to believe in the you that believes in me. Okay, so what have we got going on? I remembered to start recording while I was drawing today. Congratulations to me for that. What that means for everybody, though, is that I'm going to sound a bit even more spacey than I did last time. Hopefully I'll manage to a bit less often. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves, but apparently I'm super guilty of it. So there you go. I'll be more careful. I'm drawing right now one of these earlier scenes in the episode. It's sort of like a what do you call them? Geez, I suck. Just a bunch of little scenes of like what's happening while they're traveling. Meanwhile, we're reading from more from Robin's camping diary, which up until now we've only seen little bits and pieces of, but we're finally back to the kids, and we get to go a bit more in depth with their current story, which is super nice. Poor Milo. He is not a very courageous dude, as he explained to us while he was deciding to run away from home with Robin to keep her safe. Like, he's always grown up idolizing heroes, the Guardians of Telvia, especially, excuse me. But he's never really been one himself. He's a bookworm, super smart kid for sure. And we'll see a lot more of just how smart he is down the road. But yeah, it's really funny to see him sort of forced into this position of like, oh crap, I need to really man up here to keep us safe. He brought Robin out out into the danger of the wilds, basically. So that just kind of shows how much love he has for her. She's like a sister to him, and when he heard that she was in danger, not even knowing exactly what the danger was, he knew right away that he had to get her out of there, regardless of his sort of lack of courage. So cheers to you, Milo. You're a real hero, whether you think so or not. Here we get to see Milo's about to be. Well, it kind of seems like they're both about to be eaten by this scary spider thing. Robin doesn't even care. She's swinging around on the spider web and having a great time. Meanwhile, Milo is in a lot of danger himself. This scene doesn't go any further, it's just part of this montage. That's the word I was looking for earlier, montage. But I'm sure he figures some clever method for freeing the two of them from this scary situation. Um, Sorry, like I said, I'm going to be bad at focusing while drawing. Oh yeah, so this is nice. You kind of get to see how lazy I am when I draw. I think it probably leads to me taking a little longer because I'll just like rush out an initial flat or an initial line and then go back and fix it up. But it's how I've always drawn, and I highly doubt there's any chance of me fixing that now. So deal with it. Let's see, what do we got here? As you can see, I've got all of I stack a bunch of page size pages, kind of one on top of another. That's so I can double check like the pacing that you get from the insta or from the running sort of scroll. The scroll down format for the comics on Webtoon, which I like absolutely love. It was one of the It's really funny actually. I had no idea when I wanted to start this project. I had no idea that that line Webtoon existed. I just remember having seen in a couple places comics that instead of being what am I doing here? Instead of being individual pages like I've always been used to, they are these scroll down, these constant sort of like scroll stream of comic, and I was really intrigued by that style, and I really wanted to try it out. And then I did a little search. I started looking into, I think it was God of High School was the first one I saw like that, or so I started looking into it, and that eventually led me to Line, where which I believe was the original host of that comic. And as soon as I saw how the site worked with the Challenge League, and the sort of the freedom of this format, I was instantly like in. So I knew I had to do this, and that's when I went to Phil to sort of try and get him on board with the comic. Let's see, what do we got next? The next line of the script. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot some dialogue. I also like to write in all the dialogue from the script so that I don't have to keep that open later on while I'm doing lettering. I can just sort of read off of my rough here. Oh, that's so cute. Little Robin talking to a squirrel while they hang out underneath these weird large petals that are just sort of growing out of the ground. I love creating just these random sort of fantastic scenes, such as this one. I've never really heard of giant leaf things before, but I imagine that it would look pretty interesting. I've never been outside for so long before. But with Milo with me. And we'll put, I know nothing. I know nothing will go wrong. The contrast of that line in the situation is kind of funny. Yeah, the way Phil writes the scripts, the way we've worked this out, we've been working together on comics for like a really long time. Actually, this upcoming fall will be sort of like our 10-year. It was 10 years ago this upcoming fall that we first collaborated on a comic together. So happy anniversary, Phil. The way we worked out the script when we were kind of coming up with this method, we in our past, in the past, our the scripts have always been laid out a bit more traditionally, like a comic script would be, sort of like a film, like a movie script, but instead it's broken out by like pages and then panels. But instead for this comic, with the sort of scroll down method, and the way what I wanted to try was just sort of having him write the dialogue, write what's happening, but without breaking it up into individual panels, and that's allowed me the freedom to sort of like play around with how the story gets to you guys. I think at first, especially in those earlier episodes, it took me it took me a little while to get the hang of it, but my pacing is a bit better now. I think I'm showing the right stuff while letting him tell you other things. I don't know. There's an important balance in comics where they say like show don't tell. So the better I can be at showing, the more our sort of method for this script to comic collaboration works, especially since I have a lot more freedom working on it this way. Let's see, we did Milo stuck in a giant spider web, and now, oh, the alley scene, right. So just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, here's the script. Oh, I don't want to scroll too far, but now I'm up to right here. So he's just sort of got the caption written, and underneath it, this scene isn't necessarily what has to be happening during this part of the caption. Obviously it will be because it makes the most sense in this, but instead of breaking it down into specific panels and saying exactly what's going on, he just sort of leaves it a bit more open-ended, saying they're in an alley. Robin's looking at Milo, who's nervously looking around the corner. A lot of writers would be a bit more specific, giving you like angles and all of this stuff, and we've done that before too, but this frees it up a bit for the both of us. He doesn't have to spend as long while writing, so he can get more out, and I'm being less inhibited by the specifics of a script. Kind of helps, kind of hinders. I mean, it doesn't hinder, but it would sometimes help me draw a little faster because I wouldn't have to put the scene together in my head as much. But since I do get to put the scene together myself, I'm struggling less to sort of match the pictures to the words that as he set it up. So yeah, that's cool. A little behind the scenes explanation for y'all. And right now I'm sort of losing it because I'm drawing. Again, I'll get better at this, I hope, maybe, probably not. But I hope it's worth listening to. Anyhow, yeah, this is dumb. I'm rambling. I'm gonna go. Thank you for joining me for Work Time with Justin #2. And I'll see you guys next week.